Alright everyone, here we are with ticker symbol NIO Inc. Before we jump into this chart, I want to say welcome to all my first time viewers and investors. Welcome to my channel, Invest for Tomorrow. Hope you guys find this video helpful and informative, and it means you all well. To my subscribers, welcome back, and let's jump into this chart. So NIO has actually had sideways movement for quite some time, right? They had a bullish run. They needed a breakthrough $21, right? So they can start to reach newer highs, and they've accomplished that slightly. So we're gonna have to see if NIO can go ahead and now use this momentum to continue to work its way up to newer highs and new resistance levels. Obviously, the bullish run had happened. There was ups and downs with all the volatility of the market. Hit lows of like 1563, and then reached also lows of like 1675. And from that point forward, it had this turnaround, broke through the 50-day moving average, managed to stay above it. And here we are from that narrow stretch from yesterday to today that the bulls needed to break through resistance and continue to work their way up to hit newer highs. So we're going to see here what is important for tomorrow and what the bulls are going to have to do to continue to work their way up to new highs. So our resistance level is the closing price. Believe it or not, it's our closing price. It's at 21.14 due to the fact that that's the highest point this stock has reached, and that's the highest point that we see here for this stock. That literally 21.14 is the resistance level and is the point of where the bulls want to break through to start to work their way up to newer highs and hitting new levels of resistance. So they closed off at the highest point this stock has reached in valuation and the highest point reached in the day, and it leveled off there, and the bullish run will have to continue to break through 21.14, turn that into a support to continue to work its way up to newer highs. Now we have our support level way down here. I want to talk about it for just a second. It's the lowest point before this run, and that's 1862. I'd write that down. Very important number in the long run for the next week or even upcoming days. So keep that in mind, but I'm going to move this to the lowest point before the run continued and where it leveled off, which was up at this point right here. And we're going to use that as a point of reference, as a support level here, before worrying about way down here at 1862 and our 50-day moving average. So I'm going to break this down as much as possible. So back to the highest point that the stock reached was 21.14, and that's the most important point for the bulls to start to work their way up to newer highs and reach new resistance levels. They need to break through that, turn it into a support, because there was a slight rejection twice closely to it, and then it leveled off right at it. So right at the beginning of this tug of war tomorrow, the bulls need to come in strong and continue this momentum and run to pull themselves further away from the 50-day moving average in an upward direction. Now, the 50-day moving average is 1927. Very important to keep in mind. And remember, as long as we're above it, the bulls are in control. The moment we're below it, the bears are gaining control. So 1927 is a very important number to keep in mind and remember throughout this process for the next coming days. So what is our support level? Well, like I said, when this leveled off, the lowest point before the bulls continue the run and the momentum, and that is 1970. This is our more narrowed down and focused support level to give us a sense of direction of where this stock is going and who is starting to gain control on this tug of war. Now, if 1970 does get crossed, there's still a window between 1927 and 1970 for the bulls to reappear and bring this one back up. That's something to keep in mind and remember. But 1970 gives us a sense of direction of who is starting to gain control, because the bulls ended the day at 21.14. If the bears start to tear this one down and break through the support, they're working their way closer to the 50-day moving average and crossing it to get into bearish territory. So 1970 gives us, again, like I said, a sense of direction and who is gaining control. If 1970 gets crossed, this could be on its way down closer to the 50-day moving average and hitting newer lows. Now, after that gets crossed, the 50-day moving average is our true support level to know what's going to happen and what side of the chart we're in, and that's 1927. But before getting there, 1970 gives us a sense of direction to see who is gaining control. I want to emphasize how important it is to pay close attention to 1970, but if you're willing to wait and hold on and give it another shot to see what's going on, and even if it breaks through it fairly quickly, well then I really have to emphasize how important it is to know the behavior and who is gaining control if this stock was to break through the 50-day moving average, which is 1927, and starts to hit newer lows. Because once we're in bearish territory, the bears are going to aim their best to hit 1863 and start to tear this one down further away from the 50-day moving average, newer lows and newer support levels. So keep that in mind, how important it is to pay close attention to how it behaves at 1970. But if that doesn't give you enough certainty or uncertainty due to the fact that we're still in bullish territory, even if 1970 gets crossed, well, 1927 confirms that we're no longer in bullish territory if it gets crossed, and we are now in bearish territory. So very important to keep in mind and pay close attention to the behavior of the stock at that point. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Share this with your friends and community. Don't forget to hit the like button and let me know you watched this video. And if you feel inclined or encouraged to subscribe, please do so. But don't forget to click on the bell by turning on all notifications to not miss a single video that I post, so that you guys can be up to date on every single chart analysis. At the end of this video, there's going to be a pop-up video. And in that video, I highly encourage you guys to check it out. Don't miss out on the information. There's some great stuff in there for every investor. The ones that know or didn't know about this, or the ones that knew but weren't too sure about it. I am here to break down all the information, and I go into it step by step, and I go ahead and explain it all in that video. But just to summarize it for any of you guys that don't know, I talk about the S&P 500. And what's going on with the S&P 500 is that there are ticker symbols within those 500 companies moving 30 cents upwards to $3 and maybe even more per share. And I know it doesn't sound like a lot, but per share that does add up. And I've been using this strategy, and I want to share with you guys that the Federal Reserve is pumping the markets on scheduled dates, making the S&P 500 rise several points. And if the S&P 500 is rising several points, then that means that there are certain ticker symbols within the S&P 500 rising upwards to $3 all the way down to 30 cents per share. So like I always say, profits are profits. I go into more detail in the video. I don't want you guys to miss out on it. If you're a first-time viewer and you found this video helpful and informative, check out that video, because that video is packed with great news and great information that there is an opportunity to make profit even when this market's going down, for as long as the Federal Reserve is pumping the markets. And right now, they currently are. They have been, and I believe they're going to continue to. Don't know how long, but it's a great opportunity to take advantage of the fact that they are pumping the markets, and there's an opportunity to buy low and sell at these highs, making anywhere from 30 cents to $3 profits within those moves per share. Check it out. Don't miss out on it. I'm not telling you guys to buy, sell, or hold. You have to do your due diligence and research, but I'm just here to enlighten you guys on the great news that there's an opportunity to make profit. The video, if it hasn't popped up already, it should be popping up soon. Click on it and don't miss out on the great information. Thank you guys so much for watching, and let's make some money.